Hey folks, Adam Dupay here, and today we're going to be looking at the pwnable.kr level simple login. Before we do that, it's after DEF CON quals, so I need to take this opportunity to apologize to everyone out there who had to suffer through the level Adam tune. That challenge was in no way designed by me, and it was 100% Zardis, aka Jan Chochistashvili, so please direct all of your hate and blame towards him. So today we're going to be doing a live hack of the simple login level. So let's look at what we got. So simple login worth 50 points. It says, can you get authentication from this server? Download the executable from here, and it's running at netcat pwnable.kr 9003. So I've already downloaded this, and if we go to the netcat here, it should, it will. So we can see it says authenticate. I type something in, it gives me a hash. You can do it again. Wrong length, interesting. Wrong length. So I just happened to hit the right length the first time. That seems kind of sketchy. Okay, well at least we're seeing with different inputs that the hash is changing, so that tells us maybe something. So now that we've played with it a little bit, let's go over and start poking around the binary. So we run file on it first. We see that it's an ELF 32-bit executable. It's statically linked, which gives us a hint that this might be some kind of ROP style exploit. 2.624, not stripped, which is important because we still have some symbol information. So that's files. If I run a good old-fashioned check sec on this, you can see that it's not PIE. It has NX enabled, which means, ooh, interesting. So it's got non-executable stack. It has a canary and partial railrow. So this is protection on the global offset table. So the canary is going to be interesting. That means we're going to have to somehow get around that. But maybe first impressions are wrong. Maybe it is some way to try to get around this authentication check or get that to return true or something. So that's check sec. Let's do good old-fashioned strings. Pipe that through less. Doesn't seem to be anything interesting. Okay, well, we know whoop, that's not correct. We know, there we go, there should be the string authenticate. Ah, congratulations, you are good. Hey, that's always nice. So it looks like that's the success message. So if we can figure out how to get there, that's probably a good thing. binsh, so it probably will call binsh for us when we get that. So we can just cat out the flag. Hash colon %s, so that's the hash string. That's the string that's being done in here to get the hash. It has this F87 CD61 AA7FE. Huh, interesting. So maybe that's some kind of hard-coded cache. Here's the authenticate. Here's %30s, so it looks like it wants 30 characters. And we can see that this actually looks like strings from OpenSSL version 1.0.1e. And then here we have some, so bio, libc, this is some, a bunch of libc functions. So if I look at this, I bet this is a long, yeah, so almost a full meg. So we booted it up in Hopper, so we can kind of get an overview. We could see that there's a lot of calls here, a lot of calls. Let's see, so we need to find this front. In fact, let's just work backwards. So we know that the first thing it sends us is this authenticate. So if we look, this is an ASCII string. So if I look, %20x is also a string for sure, or %02x. Oh, that outputs it padded with hex. So congratulations, you are good. Which is so nice. Okay, well, that's nice. So there's a function called correct, which, just looking at this, is checking if we're correct and just as a quick, oh wow, okay, so we have strings, move input there, move input into EAX, dereference EAX, compare EAX with dead beef if it's dead beef, then go here and call system with bin.sh. Okay, otherwise puts, congratulations, you are good. So now let's find out where correct is called and with what. So it's going to call correct. So here, okay, so this is that wrong length check we can see from here. So we can, interesting. Oh, so that makes sense, that why that our input was sometimes right and sometimes wrong. We can see from this base 64 decode. So it looks like, so it calls kind of classic set vbuffer to, this is just to make sure that it's flushing. It's probably running with xinet d. So it takes the string, prints out authenticate. It then takes into, so var22 into EAX, EAX into var3c, Oh, format %s. Okay, so that's where our input's going to be. So %30s is going to read in 30 characters into there. It's going to call scanf, and then it's going to call move. What is input? Why does that already have a name? Huh. Okay, interesting. So scanf, so it's going to move. Okay, so this is pushing it on the stack, so these variables are incorrect. So it's pushing input onto the stack, and then 0, and then C, and then calling some custom function, which we don't actually quite know what it is, and it's also being used up here, so that's interesting. Maybe, global offset table plus 68. I would bet that that's some sort of maybe a mem copy or something. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So then 0 into, well, let's see what Hopper can make of this. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay, so scanf into var22, call this sub 408 804 82E2. Let's see, make sure that I can run this. So chmod plus x login. Authenticate. Hello. All right, so logged in, and again, this hello is just, so now, there we go. Now I can run this with ltrace. Oh, ltrace won't give me anything. Why won't it give me anything? Because it's not actually dynamically loading anything, because it's statically linked. Okay, so I can see kind of normal, break, access, write, authenticate, it's reading in. I know hello works. So I can say hello, it's calling memmap, that's interesting, and it's writing out this hash, okay. So if variable C4 is, so first, okay, base 64 decode, variable 22 into variable 28, and then EAX into var4, so, or EAX into var4. If var4 is less than or equal to C, which is 12, then mem copy, make sure I have my right semantics on mem copy destination source length. Okay, so copy var4 number of bytes from var28 into, interesting. Oh, 811 EB. Okay, so this is cool. So E4, var4 here, remember, is our base 64 decoded length. So copy that into 811 EB40, which is some buffer. And then it's actually authing us on this var4. Okay, so things are starting to happen in my brain, which is usually a good thing, but sometimes you never know. All right, so call correct. Okay, so basically it's taking our input, it's base 64 decoding our input into this var28. or probably from var28 into var22. I'm not 100% certain. Let's look up this base64 decode. I know this must be in base64 decode OpenSSL. And OpenSSL, as we all know, is known for its nice function names. Okay, base64, that's a gist. There we go, OpenSSL wiki. Basically, I just want to know the semantics of what's the input variable and what's the output variable. Okay, so I don't really care how you actually do it. But I need this return value. Remember, in auth, we need, so, okay, arg0 is the length. Oh, interesting. Okay, we haven't looked at auth. So it's the length. So mem copy arg0 numbers from 811 EB40 into var14, address of var14 plus C. So I already did this. I was actually just looking at this. So number of bytes from source into destination. So copy it from a global variable into var4c. EAX is calculate MD5, which, interesting. What's the second argument here? C? Huh. Okay. So, okay, I may have to dig into that, hopefully not, but, you know, return some string pointer into EAX, then call this other function, dereference, oh, fun, joy. Okay. So it was not as straightforward as I was hoping, darn. Okay, so auth, call this, does a jump to global offset table plus 72. Do we know what's there? Well, no, I don't know why it's not decoding this. Well, there's no global offset table because it's statically linked, so it's probably a static function. Okay. I mean, we could figure that out from debugging it. Move, oh, interesting, okay. Well, it's getting rid of all of these awesome parameters. So check that. Okay, so check this hash. Interesting. Okay. So it is, so correct, which is where we're trying to go. It's called by main, and main. So base64 decodes our input. So I guess the key first question is var4 is the number of bytes if it's less than or equal to 12, which is what I want. Okay. Wait, so it's just reading in 12 bytes. So if okay, labels. So it could be basically if I provide the right 12 bytes. I think 12 bytes, well, I'm always bad at estimating brute forcing, but I believe 12 bytes is a lot to get right to try to brute force that value. So if auth, calculate that value back on the stack. But why does it do address of 14 plus C? And then calculates MD5, the address of var. If sub, but that's not quite the right sub. Auth. So sub takes in this value and var C, which is result of calculating the MD5, which it outputs and then checks. So I need that var_c to be that, or I need there to be some other buffer overflow or something to get me to redirect to that function. But there's canaries, so that's what I don't. It said there's canaries, but I don't actually see any canary checks. Interesting. Maybe there's canaries in some parts? I don't know. Okay. EAX. Copy destination. Calc MD5. IO. Printf. EAX. The problem is I also don't want to look up this hash, because if I look up this hash, this will definitely probably give us the answer, right? Which it's not really something I want to be doing right now. Okay. This is how it compares it. I guess it's probably strcomp, is my guess. Okay. Convert source destination. Let's see this again. So mem copy the number that's get passed into this, but this var 14 plus c is so weird. Why would you do that? I mean, that would make sense of why this hash is always different every time. Well, kind of. Oh, because of the ASLR, right? So this would make sense because every time we run it, whatever's hashing is some weird junk that we don't know what it is. R4, okay. I want to look at the assembly here. So push EBP, move the stack pointer to the base pointer, subtract 28 hex from there. Move arg0 into EAX, EAX into ESP plus 28. Okay, so it's gotten rid of, it's not using EBP to reference variables. So argument n, and then input. What the hell is input? Oh, that's that memory location of that 0804, whatever. Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's the mem copy, so that load, oh no, that's the source, right? So we're gonna copy 12 bytes, or C bytes. Yeah, 12. Okay, so what if I do, let's see. Python print import base 64 print, and I'm trying to do, I know it's weird, I'm trying to do some Python C stuff, so or Python 3, so I'm trying to use parentheses now. Base, there's a B64 encode A times 0xc. Woofa. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, too long. But it accepts up to 30 when it does the scanf. I wonder if that's important. Okay. Just keep trying this long enough to get that hash to match. Haha. GDB. Login. Break on auth. Okay. Wait. How do I print it as a string? Here. Oop. I think it's something like character pointer. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. There's 12 bytes. Okay, so move EX into move EBP plus 8, which is the argument, which, or if I give it more real estate, it will show me EAX is 12, which is exactly how many characters I sent. Good. Wonder how it's doing that comparison. Is there some way to overflow it? Probably not, but we'll see. Next instruction. Move that into EAX. Move that. Okay, so that's that fixed, that's the input. Yeah, okay, good. So that's what's there. Okay, so with input. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's the base 64 decoded data. So it reads in 30 characters. Which is 1E. So I think I could overwrite until calculator. All right. I have no idea if this is going to be useful. 811 UB40. So I know I can read in 30 characters. Oh, in hex, but that's base 64 encoded. So if I like divide it by 3 plus 2, is that C, which is exactly. But that's not true. I'm doing my math wrong. What if I wanted like FF? F. Right, so yeah, 20. So if I wanted 1, 12, 13, yeah, okay, and I think even 14 should be longer. Well, I know the equal sign's a padding, so I guess, yeah, as long as I can do that. And that's 28, so what if I device than that? It says wrong length, right, because it's not C, but I have overwritten some of these values in the input. Is that correct? If I overwrite some of those values, is that useful? I have no idea. Possibly. But not if I can't get to this function, which is the function I care about. Okay. Yeah, okay. so this is the mem copy number. Right, because this value compare D word with C. Okay, I don't think I can get past this length check because it looks like, so I'm looking to see if maybe it compares, I don't know, the AL or AH, and maybe you could get it to go over, but this is a D word comparison. Okay, so even though we can scan in 30 characters into where? Into var 22, which is 34 ESP. So ESP, oh, ESP plus 40 is EBP. Interesting. So this is just simplifies to EBP. So EBP minus 34. So it reads in 30. All right, so scanf, what's your semantics? The question is, okay, conversion. S, okay. That's just sequence of non-white space character. The next pointer must be a pointer to the initial element of a character array that's larger told the input sequence and a terminating null byte 0, which is automatically added. Okay, so I can read 30 bytes, which doesn't really get me anything, I don't think, because I moved that value into var 4. Let's test this theory though, just to be 100% clear. I want the memory address. Oh, good. It says right here. I wish there was a good way to rename address. No, I don't want that. Break start 0x. Let's see, 804.93 CF. Restart, authenticate. So now I want something that's exactly 30 bytes. All right. Okay, so right before we're going to call that, let's see, let's poke around a little bit in this program's memory. So we are there. And in X, oh, the stack is this. Okay, so at so this is EBP 3C. Oh, minus 60. Okay, so this is the destination is FFFD1E8 is the destination. And so what does this look like? X. What about X slash 20X? I want wide X. $sign EBP minus. Okay, so this value is 22 is going to be 34. Hex 34. Okay, there is just a pointer. Huh. Okay. Okay, so the arguments on the stack, so the first argument is a pointer to the string. Shoot. This means, oh good, var 40 is the source. So we're going to decode this. the scanf was the one I wanted to think about. Okay. The scanf is var22. Right. Load effective address. Yes, okay, var22 is minus 34. That is, okay, more interesting. Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay. I think I'm going to do it just exactly. ESP plus hex 40. Oh, is this a malloc? Or a cowlock, probably. Or memset? Memset, yeah. Number of bytes, the value, and the location. Okay, so this, I'm going to guess, is no, I don't. There we go. Okay, so this is calling, I'm guessing, memset of 1E on oh shit, it's not. It's hex in some places. Okay. There we go. Found it. Wow. Okay. Man, string math. Dude, okay, this is super confusing because we have decimal here and hex here. Okay, great. So I've got that. So it's setting C characters of input. Okay, then it's base 64 decoding that into there. And then when it verifies that whatever base 64 decodes into var plus minus 4, JA is less than or equal to. So if I get base 64 decode to return a negative number, then that would work because that would be less than or equal to. Could be interesting, but I have no idea what. I feel like I already looked at this with this pwnable.kr stuff, this function, but I have no idea. Let's see. So how's the control flow look like? Calculate decode length, malloc, variable C plus 1 into arg1. fnum open, arg1, blah, blah. Okay, this does look like a custom function. var_c is the calculated decode length. Oh man, OpenSSL BIO stuff is nuts. Is the length, okay. It doesn't look like there's any way to get it to return a different length until less calc decode length can return me something weird. That's going to be useless there. Calculate string length of the argument. Okay, it's the string length result, 0 into var_c. Move this into EAX. Calculate EAX minus 1 into EDX, so subtract 1 from the result. This is I suppose you could, okay, before I get too deep down this rabbit hole, what the heck? Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I passed that check. I have C in there. Gonna auth. Let's see. Push EVP. Blah blah blah. Move EAX into. I'm sorry. Move arg0 into EAX. EAX into var_n. Okay, so mem copy into the destination where the destination is. Okay, var14 plus C. Okay, weird. Okay, next instruction. So that's pretty simple. Take arg0, put it into EAX. The next one is move EAX. Yeah, EBP plus 8, and there's 28. Okay, good. EAX into ESP plus 8. Move input into the address of input into var24. That's where input is. On to ESP plus 4, so this is the source. And then put the destination. Okay, so we take EBP minus 14. So that's 20 in binary. We add 4 to it. No, add C, we add 12 to it. Okay, so that is, the heck? 20, right, EVP minus 20 plus 12. Okay, it's just 8. What? slash x. Okay, I want to look at EAX and see what that is. B4. Okay, and then adding 12 to it. Subtract go down, plus go up. Then move EAX onto the stack, okay. Y to X. Stack pointer. And what's EBP? EBP is D1C8. C4, 8. Okay, EBP is still here. There's only 8 characters. Okay, so we have 8 characters. So why the hell does it say that there's canaries and there's definitely not canaries in this function? That is weird. Okay. Definitely need to pivot. So we have 8 and then another 4, which means we can overwrite save DBP on the stack. So that's a mem copy. So copy 12 bytes from the source, which is the input global variable, into the destination buffer. And then calculate MD5 on just what's in there. So call mem copy. Okay, so we did that. Now print me out this stack. Yeah, 12 bytes. Okay, 8 plus that. And this, my man. Yeah, so okay, so we just messed with EBP. Great, so the last 4 bytes of whatever we send get put into EBP. Now we can start to do some fun stuff, but let's see what are the next things that happen. Okay, so now we're gonna calculate calc MD5 by moving C onto the stack. It's right there. And EBP minus 14 into EAX, EAX onto the stack, calculate MD5. So then it's calculating the 12 bytes on the stack at D1B4, which is really, I mean, X to 21, Y to X is really 1. Yeah, so this is this 12, which actually doesn't include, okay, 4, 4, 4, right, because we took that value plus, right, we calculated it at vars 12, interesting. We're printing that MD5 out. Oh, we just got to pivot the stack such that okay. I think. But then the ASLR probably is going to mess things up because this is definitely an address that's getting hashed. Wonder if we need the hash. So it calls that, and then EAX now has this string because it's hashing that value on the stack. Interesting, okay. EAX into EBP, blah, 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 blah. Call printf to print out this hash. Ooh, nice, I never saw this legend, code heap stack string. EBP minus C onto the stack. Call stir comp. It's going to do some stuff. It's going to return 0. BT up. Oh, string comparison using SSE42. Yeah, no thanks. Oh, it can't go up the stack. You son of a bitch. Okay. Well, I know how to do that. Or do I? Okay, auth. Turn it on here. Take me to the end of auth. Okay, so I can control EBP 100% in this function. Okay, so this leave, so the stack is, so the leave is going to set up the stack and it's going to change EBP. So now it has 61, 61, 61, 61. The ret is going to return here. So now auth is coming back. So now, okay, we only get 4 bytes though. So now it just compares EAX with 1. Okay, if I can get it to get to correct, that would be good. I also have those other 8 bytes. Oh. Okay, easy. Maybe not easy, but I get 4 bytes. Okay, I know the location of where I want to go. Yes, okay, so I have 12 bytes. I have the last 4 bytes are going to be EBP. And, okay, this is good. So the value that we want is, our actual value that we send is getting copied into memory at a fixed location, which now means that can be our stack. So we can pivot our stack such that EBP points to there, which means when this function returns, which it compares EAX with 1, it's gonna jump if not equal, it's gonna move EAX to 0, it's gonna do its own leave, and then it's gonna do a return. And if just got a seg fault, boom. So now if I get it to seg fault and jump to correct, then I'm gonna win the game. All right, this is actually pretty easy. So I should just set this up correctly. I want to base 64 encode. All right, context set debug, p32 equals. Let's see, this is where I want to return to. This is a cool one. Why not do it twice? Plus, okay, so now I know this is going to be, so I want my base pointer to be pointing to the first one, which is going to be at input. It's this address, p32, And let me bring up my BOF exploit. Yeah. Now this is running at 9003. I have to con.sendLine import base64.b encode base64.b64 encode p. All right. I think that may work. How lucky do we feel? I think pretty lucky. Otherwise, we'll run it with got end of file, so that did not work. Okay. All right, I know I'm missing something. Let's see. be, ugh. Okay, so now I know this program pretty well, so I want to break in auth. What I want to see. I know I must have made some silly mistake, but I will find it soon. And I also want to make sure I get this payload. There we go. Okay. So now x, 20y to x, address of input. So at address of input, I should have, yes, good, 08049, which is the address of correct. So now my EBP I wonder how I get to redisplay it. Okay, my EBP points here, which means when I take my next instruction, so I just returned back to main. Now my base pointer points to here. So now I compare EAX to 1, jump if not equal, move 0. Now I do a leave and return, which is going to pop EBP. Right. So it's going to set the stack pointer equal to the current base pointer and do a pop EBP. So this is actually going to set EBP to 08 to correct, which is not what I want. So I was close. I just need to make sure my frame stack pointer to my base pointer. But where, okay, but that should be fine, right? Where's the current stack? Yeah. Nobody cares about that. Now if I do next instruction, oh, okay, interesting. What's EAX? EAX is, okay, this, okay, so they did not make it that easy. We got super close. Wow, this is a really well-designed challenge. Good job to whoever did this. So I jumped to correct, but remember correct, we forgot checks this deadbeef of var C, of input. Oh, it moves input, what's this? Oh, it moves input onto there. Okay, well, I could actually just jump almost maybe here and then call it, or try to figure out how to call it, but I see what they're trying to get me to do. They're trying to tell me that, hey, look, we want this first value to be dead beef, which is what it's doing. It's copying the input value onto var plus C, comparing it with dead beef. So if I make that be dead beef, I make that be there, and I do this plus 4, so this will point to here, and that will be my, and now I think I should be good. No, so close. Okay. Oh, it does a pop EBP. Right. This plus 4 is the wrong one. Okay. Right, it doesn't need that because it moves up to this next one. Otherwise, I was trying to jump here. Okay. Congratulations, we are good. Oh man. Oh, this took so much less time. I'm so happy, you have no idea. Control EBP, control ESP, control the EIP, control the world. And that is great advice, and this is why pwnable.kr is one of the best pwnable challenges you can play, because honestly, that advice is correct. So this really does go to show how just by controlling EBP, you can now control the whole thing. So this was a super well-designed challenge. I really, like always, I always love playing pwnable.krs. I am very happy that this did not take me the whole time. Like they talked about, it is definitely a simple login. Again, I highly encourage you to do this on your own. It's good stuff, and I will talk to you all next time.